Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 27 in the NMV for September 27th, 2023. Boast not of yourself of tomorrow, for you know not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath heavier than them both. Wrath cruel, anger outrageous, but who able to stand before envy? Open rebuke better than secret love. Faithful the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy deceitful. The full soul loathes a honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every better thing is sweet. As a bird that wanders from her nest, so a man that wanders from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. You own friend, and your father's friend forsake not. Neither go into your brother's house in the day of your calamity, for better is a neighbor near than a brother far off. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproaches me. A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself. The simple pass on and are punished. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take the pledge of him for a strange woman. He that blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Whosoever hides her hides the wind, and the ointment of his right hand betrays. Just as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoso keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so he that waits on his master shall be honored. As in water face to face, so the heart of man to man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. The finding pot for silver, the furnace for gold, so a man to his praise. Though you should pound on a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Be you diligent to know the state of your flocks, and look well to your herds, for riches are not forever, and does the crown endure to every generation? The hay appears, the tender grass shows itself, and the herbs of the mountain are gathered. The lambs for your clothing, the goats the price of a field. And you shall have goat's milk, enough for your food, and the food of your household, and for the maintenance of your maidens. Goat's milk. Everybody that knows me well tells me they expect me to get goats, and then I need goats. Goats. Okay, well, super allergic to poison ivy. It's been demonstrated, that goats that eat poison ivy, which most animals are immune to it, and goats happen to love to eat it. I guess it's fun, right? Crunch, crunch, and they pull it up like little noodles, and they get to nip the roots out of the ground. So goats, if you don't know, browse and eat pretty much anything, and if they're confined, will eat everything. So, given that I'm always fighting poison ivy, and I could use some poison ivy remedy goat's milk, probably do need to do that. But great for permaculture setups. It's just, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell. That was in the book of Cake, right? But I mean, really, it's in the book as part of parables that were told. But they're just so, just like the parable, right? They're so strong-willed and self-assured, and they can't be corrected, and they're going to do what they want to do. I'd rather have sheep mow my lawn, right? But goats will also browse on more of an incline and a variety of stuff and heights that other animals won't. So I keep joking that we need to have some goats just for that, but we need to maybe, refresh every season. Just be cool with them long enough, and then like have one bad day and one good goat roast. We'll see. It's always something, but I'm trying to get the rest of my house thoughts, projects in order before I add more stuff. I really am. To wit, I could yak it up for 49 minutes and 30 seconds right now if I so chose. I left the house because I was promised money, and there's no money is happening. So everything's dead, which is fine. We'll spend our time together, you know what I mean? But let's take it from the top, right? Boast not yourself of tomorrow, for you know not what a day may bring forth. I've hurt my buddy's feelings, because he knows I'm up to some things, but he doesn't know what. And I think he's taking it poorly, because I'm often trying to work with him, and I want to work with him. But in some cases, right, I've learned it's better to not tell people what you're going to do, because you look like way less of a fool when, not that you fail, but that you tell people you're going to do stuff, and then you just never do it. You got big ideas, big plans. What happened to that? So easier to just work hard, hustle, keep your nose to the grindstone, do what you got to do, and then when you're ready, when you have something to show for yourself, then show. And still don't be boasting about what you do. Still don't praise yourself. Let other people praise you. Stranger, not your mouth, not your own lips. You just do the work, and you do good work. Why? Because you're repping the master, like we've talked about. You're in the master's entourage. You're in the master's posse, not vice versa. Jesus isn't hanging out in my back seat. I don't like that Jesus is my co-pilot stuff, because like, same thing. Like, no, not my co-pilot. If anything, he is in the back seat, but it's because the boss is driven around by somebody else, right? I digress. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about your plans. There's a channel on here. It is not exactly a Christian channel, but it is called Grim Hustle, right? And I like a lot of those rules because, like, they're right. It's all about keeping control of yourself, your emotions, your face, your attitude, your attention. It's all about self-control. And that's what Solomon's preaching to us here. Half this book. Most of the book is self-control, right? Start with fear of the Lord, and a whole bunch of the other stuff comes from that. And then if we do our job of self-control, we'll learn more about the fear of the Lord and the products that come from that. What do I know? The stone is heavy, the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Fools have no conscience in this context, right? So I've told people before, I think even on a YouTube comment, people were saying, like, oh, I worry about being a good person. It's like, I'm not saying you're a good person, but what I will say to you is that bad people don't consider that. Am I the baddie? Are we the baddies here? It's people who are at least self-aware and trying to be good or aware of what good is, those are the people that are asking, am I okay? Or am I the baddie? So the point is, like, I think it's easier for us to exercise self-restraint in a lot of these situations because we're not foolish, right? We're going to consider our actions. Certain actions might be completely off limits in, let's say, the majority of situations. Yes, I did get a haircut. Yes, I feel so much better. No, it's not perfect. And I got a couple like wispy hairs and stuff. Gonna cut it a little lower, and then don't be surprised if you see a little streak of color in here. I do deliver to like a lot of doctors' offices and stuff, so I don't want to go like full crazy hair. But what's my excuse? You know what I mean? Grown man, been wanting to do it, so let's do it. There's always holiday pictures. That's always that's always an excuse as to like why you shouldn't. Don't have crazy hair. We'll find out. It washes out, grows out, especially at this rate. Oh, bless me. Oh my gosh. So, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who can stand against envy? I sneeze. Oh. All right. Sorry. Keeping it real. Open rebuke better than secret love. For sure. For sure. Talk to me about my failures. Talk to me about how I can get better, rather than love me from afar and watch me fail. You know what I mean? Because we correct and rebuke the ones that we love. Truly, right? We call our friends out. To wit, faithful, the wounds of a friend. The kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Again, with the praise. The measure of praise, or the measure of a man, is how we react to praise, right? So, kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Let other people praise you up here. It's a little further down. But, right, that praise is the test of a man. That when we get it, it shows our true character. And all these warnings are amidst an observation, right? The full soul loathes a honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. It's kind of like the Eddie Murphy routine from back in the day, right? Like when a man doesn't get what he needs, every little morsel that he gets is like, oh, that's gourmet, you know? Instead of a saltine, I believe it was like, ooh, that's one of those Ritz crackers. That was delicious. A little bit of different context is about affection from our female counterparts, which we desire so much, right? But the same thing is true. If we're desiring praise, then every little every little thing that we get is going to be that little dopamine hit, right? So we need to be careful, because like the things that you want, it's easy to overvalue, to idolize. So we can both envy success and be ruined by the bit of praise that we get. Sorry. I know that's not super camera friendly. What are we going to do, huh? I thought I was clear. I was like having a bit of nice time breathing, right? Storm rolled through. I guess it knocked everything out of the air. Now all the puddles are drying up. Streets are getting dry. I'm watching all the little grass heads flutter in the breeze. So, sorry, everybody. The sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Let's say a person's friend, right? When we get together, they can it says refresh us. I'm looking for a different metaphor here. It's like two flames, right? Two flames coming together make a bit of a brighter flame because it burns more efficiently. Similarly, two people together pooling their countenance and loving on each other can produce a more positive atmosphere and lift everybody's counsel. This is always interesting to me because of the way that they lived and the housing situation, but don't go to your brother's house far off. Better is a neighbor that's near than a brother far off. Okay, I get that. So also that speaks to have good relations with your neighbors. But why your father? Like if your brother's moved off. I don't know. It's interesting. Also, like family relations, friend of a friend. Like that's what it's talking about. That's what I can relate more to. You know, if let's just say not naming names, there are a certain couple of people that could call me up, and it's like, oh, of course, Mr. So-and-so, no problem. Let me take care of that for you. Because they're lifelong friends of my father or my parents, right? Those relationships matter, even if it's not your direct relationship. And over we're told that kids bring shame or glory to their parents, and vice versa, right? I feel like chapter 27 is a good distillation of a lot of the other chapters. Sorry, one person was like walking up to another person's car. I thought I was about to go sideways. But over and over we get the same things, and here we get a distillation. A prudent man sees the evil, hides himself, simple pass on and are punished. And then again with the pledging. Take people's garments, take surety for people that make stupid pledges. It sounds like a love nest is happening here, right? Like, hey, put my girl up, and I'll pay you. And it's like, what? Yeah, give me your coat or something so I can prove that you said this. I'll keep you in line. Your nice coat, your initials on it. I'll bring it to your lady if you don't pay me for your little love nest. Woo. Continual dropping in a rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. I like this way, right? Another one was like to contain or to grasp the wind. This one says to hide the wind, and I got the image of like a cloak or a coat or part of a tunic, trying to cover her up, cover a woman up, but it's the wind, and it's like Marilyn Monroe's skirt blowing up in the wind. You can't do it. You can't hide the wind. You can't hide the effects of the wind either, like the grass blowing over here and the things happening blowing around in the air. Just as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. A lot of people know just that, right? Iron sharpens iron. 3 words. We understand the meaning, though, I suppose, because it's been explained to us. Whoso keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so he that waits on his master shall be honored. That would be nice, but then again, not nice. I don't want to get praise for anything to then be tested by that praise. Just let me toil. I don't need to be recognized, right? Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. Hell and destruction never being full is metaphorically deep, right? Like hell is ever expanding in this context to swallow up the dead, because people are always making more people, and the necessity of that is more death, so more space in hell. Now, this was Sheol, not current hell and not future hell, but like the land of the shades, the grave. It was an extremely hot, unpleasant place, according to the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. So there's that. But after Jesus died, went to hell, that hell, Sheol, opened up the gate, essentially, and let those that died previously up. That's why if you read that some of the saints who had gone to sleep before rose and walked around the city, basically with Jesus. I don't think it like with like a crowd, but like walking around about their business in the similar fashion that Jesus was doing in that time after Jesus came out the grave. Look it up, right? I had an Easter video about this very topic because I just find it so neat. Here we are, 21. The finding pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so a man to his praise. So praise will put you on the spotlight, right? And it will, here we're refining it, right? We're burning out the bad stuff. We're purifying ourselves. So the more praise we get, more attention we get. And we're going to have to burn out the bad practices in our life, even if that's practices in the sense of like the trade or the thing that we're practicing. Also, if we have the correct posture to praise, it will promote more humbleness, more humility within us, instead of haughtiness, wrong kind of pride, boastfulness. More foolishness. Leave the fools alone, because even though you pound on them like wheat with a pestle, his foolishness won't depart from him. And then I like the essentially business advice, the family advice. Be you diligent to know the state of your flocks and look well to your herds. For riches are not forever, and does the crown endure to every generation? And then we covered kind of the spring routine for wealth in this context. But the point is, tend to the things you need to tend to. Be responsible for those things and do it well. Go with God and be blessed.